Okay, so today we're going to start layering and building, like with a transparency idea. The old days I should refer to. When I was in school, they had a thing called an overhead projector. And the teacher would put a map on it, and then she would put a transparency on, a little piece of plastic. She could draw arrows all over that map, and then she could always pull the plastic off and refer to the original. Same with math. You could have the math problems there, then you could put the transparency over, show all the work going on, and it would project it up on the wall while she was writing on that. So I like that idea, that visual. That's what we're going to start doing with our improvisation. So we're going to start with what is just the most basic progression in the whole world, and it's called the Heart and Soul song, right? There's a song called Heart and Soul. And that's basically just 1, 6, 2, 5, or 4. A lot of people play 4. I just did. 1, 6, 2, 5. Now, it can also be called a turnaround. You can cram that into one measure and use it to get back to the beginning of a tune. Whole songs are built on the 1, 6, 2, 5 progression. And like, for example, it's often called rhythm changes. So you might have heard that before, where it's the song that George Gershwin wrote, I've Got Rhythm. And the whole first part of that is based on 1, 6, 2, 5. So that's why it's a great place to start, because so many standards and so many bebop tunes are built off of this progression. So I thought what we could do is just build some vocabulary and enjoy some options, and we're just going to share them in a nice organized way. So this isn't the right way or the only way. This is just something I thought would be kind of a great way to start building, and then I can show you how to add on as we go along. So first of all, we're going to start with C. We've already talked about fourths voicings, so we have a nice voicing for our C major 7. That's going to be our 1 chord. And then our minor chord, we're going to have A minor. And this is going to be 7, 9, 3, and 5. And then we're going to use our standard or stock jazz voicing for the 2 chord. 3, 5, 7, 9. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And then the 5 chord. And this is 7, 9, 3, and 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 9 and 13. 3 and 7. We're going to put 7 down here, and we're going to put 9 and 13 in there. So this is our 5 chord. And that in itself is a good start for improvising. Now, in order to keep things simple, we're going to realize that this progression comes from the key of C major. So our first option for improvising or creating is a C scale. And if you've never improvised before, or you want to improvise, or you're already improvising but you'd like to try to improve your soloing or get more ideas, sometimes the thing that people miss, in fact I think it's most times, what people miss is going back to basics. Because if you're always trying to get deeper by adding on bigger things, you're not really getting deeper, you're getting spread thin. So you have lots of great ideas, but there's just something missing inside when you play, and you can't quite pinpoint it, because you can't discover your voice when you're always piling on, ideas. Cool ideas, great ideas, they may sound good and they may even be impressive, but you can't find your own voice without really searching the basics. So that's what I wanted to start with today for building our improvisation world. So this is our chord progression. I'm going to go very slow. I don't even care what the rhythm is. I just want to find sounds. So this is a great way to go, and this is how I started, but it's also how I continue to work. I'm always sharing this with my students, and I'm always going back to this myself. So here's our scale. And notice I just moved my hand out of the way and played that last note rhythmically with my voicing. I didn't know I was going to do that till I got there. That's improvisation. So, as we were traveling down, somebody might have said, oh, he played an F on an A minor, that's an avoid tone. Well, there you go. You play that tape back and tell me how horrible it sounded. And that's the thing you want to discover. So passing through the terrain is not always a bad thing, but you won't discover things that work. For example, what about that F on the A minor? Let's just talk about that. There's a nice passing tone up that holds some tension. Or what about if we go up? Or how about from there to 9? That's the A minor 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Notice how I'm using all scale on top of the chord to find my colors. Or maybe I could do that on the C. And I ended on 9, right there. So I could go up with a C scale. I could start on any note because this is C scale. This is all from the key of C. Now, if you're a classical musician and you've seen Czerny's School of Velocity, or any of the Czerny books for that matter, that's what he's doing. He's running scales on different notes, playing different cadences, and getting you facility to go through things that way, because everybody used to improvise in Czerny's day, before and even a little bit after. So that's exactly where I got the idea from, is what I saw the classical musicians do. I'm doing it with jazz language. So you might not play those voicings in classical music, but you're going to need this kind of facility, and that might even interest jazz musicians. Maybe you would like to look up Czerny or some of those people who used very simple ideas in the classical world to develop a sense of melody and a sense of linear facility. So that would be a good place to stop for today. We're just going to start right there with 1, 6, 2, 5. We had A, and we had we had C, we had A minor, then I went to D minor. I didn't go to F. I went to F, D minor, and then G. And you could do fourths on that. I want you to go through and take that tape and slow that down, that video. Slow that down and see what I did and come up with your own ideas. Because I'm using different inversions, and that was an improvisation there. That was very simple. I'm trying to stay very simple. So somebody who plays in a band with really heavy duty jazz improvisation, they might say, oh, that's, whatever. But they had to start somewhere. So when you hear the best player around, they had to start somewhere. And everybody starts like this. And the really, truly good artists are always going back to this. So keep enjoying this process. keep working with this, and write down what you discover. Write down the notes you find. Just stick to the C scale. We'll do some more of this next time, and I'll even help you get ideas documented so that you can have your own notebook and you can have your own transparency idea as we build on. Okay, great. I'll see you next time then.